Microsoft's Project Solara, a glimpse into a future beyond apps. Microsoft recently offered an early look at an ambitious new initiative called Project Solara, a vision that could fundamentally change how people interact with artificial intelligence. Rather than relying on apps running on phones or PCs, Project Solara explores a future where AI is available instantly through purpose-built devices designed to fit naturally into daily life. During a visit to Microsoft's headquarters in Redmond, two prototype devices were showcased, a wearable AI badge and a desktop AI companion. While neither device is currently a commercial product, they reveal how Microsoft is thinking about the next generation of AI-powered experiences. The AI badge, intelligence you can wear. The first concept resembles a standard employee identification badge, but beneath its familiar appearance lies a powerful AI assistant. Equipped with a touchscreen, camera, microphones, speaker, and fingerprint reader, the badge is designed to provide immediate access to AI without requiring users to reach for a smartphone or a laptop. The idea is simple. AI should be available exactly when it's needed. Imagine a nurse moving between patient rooms. Instead of manually recording a blood pressure reading and entering it into a system later, the nurse could point the badge's camera at the monitor. The AI could recognize the information, understand the context, and automatically document it. Microsoft believes this approach could be especially valuable for workers who spend much of their day away from a desk, including healthcare professionals, retail employees, warehouse workers, field service technicians, manufacturing staff. Users could ask questions, capture information through the camera, record conversations, or retrieve important data while remaining mobile throughout the day. Why not just use a smartphone? The obvious question is why someone would need a dedicated AI device when modern smartphones already offer many of these capabilities. Microsoft argues that dedicated hardware removes friction. Instead of pulling out a phone, unlocking it, launching an application, and navigating menus, users can access AI instantly. There are also privacy and workflow considerations. In professional environments such as healthcare, employees may prefer not to use personal devices for sensitive work-related tasks. A dedicated AI device could provide a secure, enterprise-managed alternative. The desktop AI companion. The second prototype is designed for the workplace desk. Featuring a touchscreen, microphones, speakers, and facial recognition for secure authentication, the device acts as a persistent AI assistant that remains available throughout the workday. Microsoft envisions users relying on the companion to review schedules and meetings, manage tasks, and reminders, access Microsoft 365 Copilot, receive quick answers and recommendations, interact with AI without constantly switching browser tabs or applications. One particularly interesting capability is its connection to Windows 365. Microsoft says the device could access cloud-based Windows environments and, when connected to a monitor, potentially function as a lightweight workstation powered by the cloud. Testing the future inside Microsoft. Microsoft has already been testing these concepts internally with employees. According to feedback shared by the company, many users appreciated having AI available on a dedicated device rather than needing to repeatedly open applications or browser windows. The experience felt more immediate and less disruptive to their workflow. That insight highlights a broader shift in Microsoft's thinking. AI may eventually become something that is always present, rather than something people actively launch when they need it. The bigger vision behind Project Solara. The most significant aspect of Project Solara may not be the hardware itself. Microsoft sees AI agents becoming a central layer of computing, handling tasks, managing information, and assisting users throughout the day. In this vision, dedicated AI devices become gateways to a much larger ecosystem. Rather than building only its own products, Microsoft is developing Project Solara as a platform that hardware manufacturers and software developers can build upon. This strategy mirrors the role Windows played in creating a vast PC ecosystem over the past several decades. If successful, Solara could become a foundation for entirely new categories of AI-native devices. A new era of AI hardware? Project Solara remains in the experimental stage. These are concept devices, not products scheduled for immediate release. However, Microsoft's message is clear. The company believes the future of AI extends beyond apps and chat windows. It envisions a world where intelligent assistants are embedded into specialized devices that stay with users throughout their day, whether they're working in a hospital, sitting at a desk, or moving between locations. The wearable badge and desktop companion are merely the first glimpse of that future. As AI continues to evolve, Microsoft is betting that the next major computing platform may not be another smartphone or PC. It could be a new generation of devices built specifically around intelligent agents. Microsoft's Project Solara signals the end of the app era as Build 2026 unveils a new AI hardware strategy. At Microsoft Build 2026, the company revealed far more than a pair of experimental AI devices. It unveiled what may become its most ambitious computing platform since Windows itself, Project Solara, an ecosystem designed around AI agents rather than traditional applications. At the same event, Microsoft introduced a new family of in-house AI models, dedicated AI hardware, and a broader vision that could redefine how people interact with technology over the next decade. Beyond apps, Microsoft's agent-first future. For decades, computing has revolved around applications. Users open software, navigate interfaces, and manually perform tasks. Microsoft now believes that model is reaching its limits. Project Solara is built around an agent-first philosophy where AI assistants become the primary interface between humans and technology. Instead of opening multiple apps, users simply tell an AI agent what they need, and the agent coordinates tasks across services, devices, and data sources. To demonstrate that vision, Microsoft showcased two prototype devices. The Solara AI Badge. The wearable badge looks similar to a corporate ID card but functions as a portable AI assistant. It includes touchscreen display, camera, microphones, speaker, fingerprint authentication. The device is designed for workers who spend little time at a desk. Healthcare professionals, retail associates, warehouse operators, and field technicians could use it to capture information, ask questions, record conversations, and interact with AI without reaching for a phone or a laptop. A nurse, for example, could scan a patient's vital signs using the badge's camera and have AI automatically document the information in real time. The Solara Desk Companion. The second prototype serves as a permanent AI assistant on a user's desk. Equipped with a touchscreen, microphones, speakers, and facial recognition, it provides instant access to scheduling, Microsoft 365 Copilot, enterprise knowledge, and task management. Microsoft says the device can also connect to Windows 365, allowing users to access cloud-based Windows environments and AI services from a dedicated workstation. The bigger story: Solara is a platform, not just hardware. The hardware itself is only part of the strategy. Microsoft repeatedly emphasized that Solara is intended to become a platform that device manufacturers and developers can build upon, much like Windows enabled the PC ecosystem decades ago. The company describes Solara as a foundation for a future where AI agents operate across multiple devices and environments rather than inside isolated applications. This could eventually lead to an entirely new category of AI-native hardware from partners across the technology industry. Build 2026. Microsoft launches its own AI models. The Solara announcement arrived alongside one of Microsoft's biggest AI model launches ever. At Build 2026, Microsoft introduced 7 new in-house AI models under its MAI family, marking a major step toward reducing dependence on external AI providers. Key releases include MAI Thinking 1, Microsoft's first reasoning model optimized for complex problem-solving and software engineering. MAI Code 1 Flash, a coding model integrated with GitHub Copilot and developer tools. MAI Image 2.5, advanced image generation and editing. MAI Voice 2, multilingual speech capabilities. MAI Transcribe 1.5, high-speed speech transcription. These models form the AI engine that could eventually power Project Solara devices and future Microsoft agent experiences. Enter Scout, Microsoft's always-on AI agent. Microsoft also introduced Scout, a new personal AI agent built on top of MAI Thinking 1. Scout is designed to act proactively on behalf of users, helping manage information, perform tasks, and coordinate activities across Microsoft's ecosystem. Rather than functioning as a chatbot, Scout represents Microsoft's push toward autonomous digital assistants capable of taking action instead of simply answering questions. In many ways, Scout appears to be the software counterpart to Solara's hardware ambitions. New hardware for the AI era. Microsoft's build announcements weren't limited to AI models and agents. The company also introduced the Surface RTX Spark Dev Box, a compact AI workstation powered by NVIDIA's new RTX Spark architecture. Featuring up to 128 gigabytes of unified memory, the system is designed to run large AI models locally without relying entirely on cloud infrastructure. This reflects a broader trend emerging across the industry, bringing AI inference closer to users through powerful local hardware rather than depending exclusively on remote data centers. Why this matters. Viewed individually, the Solara Badge and Desk Companion may seem like experimental gadgets. Viewed alongside Microsoft's new MAI models, Scout Agent, RTX Spark hardware, and agent-focused software stack, a much larger picture emerges. Microsoft is attempting to build every layer of the future AI ecosystem. AI models, MAI, AI agents, Scout, AI operating systems, Solara, AI hardware, RTX Spark devices, AI cloud infrastructure, Azure, AI security and governance tools for enterprises. The strategy resembles the company's historical approach with Windows: create the platform, attract developers, and build an ecosystem around it. The road ahead. Project Solara remains a concept today. Consumers cannot buy these devices, and many aspects of Microsoft's vision are still in development. Yet Build 2026 made one thing clear: Microsoft is preparing for a future where AI agents become the primary computing interface, replacing much of the app-centric experience that has dominated technology for the past 30 years. If that vision succeeds, the smartphone app may eventually become as invisible as the command line, still present underneath, but no longer the way most people interact with computers. Microsoft believes Project Solara could be the first step toward that future.